What's up, tribe? So if you're new to this channel, my name is Jacob, and Apex is all about humans, dogs, and the foods that bonded us, which of course is meat. And the topic I want to discuss today is something that actually just kind of popped up in my mind because I was watching another YouTube video, and it was talking about how the younger generation basically needs to start preparing now if they want to be able to retire. Really, if they want to be able to retire at any age, but especially if they want to be able to retire early, because the fact of the matter is, my generation, I was born in the mid 80s, and every generation after me, they're going to lose a lot of these benefits apparently that most people prior to us had. Social Security, medical benefits, things like that people rely on and expect to be able to retire at the ripe age of 65. And the way things are going, it's looking like, Shawnee, get out of there, babe. Come on. Get out of there. Leave him alone. Come on. You're going to hurt yourself up there. Quit that. Leave him alone. She's going crazy. I think she saw, I don't know if it was a raccoon or a beaver or a squirrel or what, but she's going ape. Leave him alone. Come on. Come on. Jeez, dogs. But the way it's looking like right now is that a lot of the younger generations simply aren't going to have those benefits. And that's a terrible thing to think about, because the way the economy is going, if it continues this trend, then people aren't even going to be able to save their way to retirement. So that means that by the time you get 65, you're not going to be able to retire. You definitely won't be able to retire early, and you'll pretty much end up working your entire life away, which humans are not meant to do. I mean, if you have a job that you love and it's something that you like showing up to work for every single day, that's one thing. But when you're just working so that you can pay the bills and it's a paycheck and it's not something you're truly passionate about, it sucks the life out of you. And that can have an enormous impact on your health. It can cause depression, it can cause anxiety, just a overall sense of hopelessness. And with that comes a lot of other medical issues, because when you don't have something to live for and you don't have something to look forward to, and you're just constantly stressed and you worry about making ends meet and knowing that you're not going to be able to retire and you're not going to be able to live your life on your terms and do the things that you want to do, it's going to take a toll on you. And with your mindset, when it takes a toll on your mind, it's going to take a toll on your body. And overall, and ultimately, that's going to lead to the decline of your health. And the worst part about this is that, when you lose all these benefits and you lose these, specifically the medical benefits and just the monetary benefits in general, it's bad enough when you don't have that money and you're not going to be able to retire. But then knowing that you're going to have to work just so you can have insurance and pay medical bills. And on top of all that, your chances of getting sick is probably going to be even more, because you're going to be working constantly. You're never going to have time to enjoy your life. And again, it's going to probably lead to the steady decline of your overall health. And looking at statistics, I mean, the average age of people to develop diabetes, I think, is like from 44 to 64. The average age for someone to develop cancer is around 66. And those numbers keep going down. So the younger generations are actually getting these chronic conditions much earlier in life. And when you have these chronic conditions, obviously it takes a lot of money to treat them and to pay for medical expenses and things like that. And it's just a never-ending cycle of never getting ahead. So from all that, I mean, as bad as all that is, I think the solution here, and the main point I want to get to, is that the younger generations, my generation included, and really anybody that's, not already at the age of retirement, the best thing that you can do now, early in life, is to get ahead of your health before it becomes a problem. And the way you do that is just prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your health. Start making simple changes in your daily life. It doesn't have to be anything drastic. It could be as simple as going through your kitchen, getting rid of plastic utensils. Don't use plastic, because those things have estrogen promoting compounds in there. There's a lot of really bad stuff in plastic like phytolates and PFAs and a lot of things that are linked to cancer and a lot of these chronic conditions we're dealing with. Get rid of those plastics. Throw that stuff out, replace it with stainless steel. Stop drinking tap water. Start filtering your water with a reputable filter like a Berkey or a zero filter or reverse osmosis or something that's going to get all the bad stuff out of the tap water. Start drinking water from the earth. Stop wearing synthetic clothing that's made from petrochemicals, which is essentially you wearing plastic on your body. And that plastic, again, has estrogen promoting compounds. And that's a bad thing whether you're a guy or a girl, because if you have too much estrogen and the estrogen is getting pumped into your body through these chemicals and these toxic fabrics or plastics or whatever it is, even bottled water, because plastic bottles have the same compounds in there, the BPAs and the BPS and all that stuff. It's all estrogen promoting, and that's a problem for men and women. As a matter of fact, if you can lower estrogen in women and lower these estrogen promoting compounds, then your risk of cancer, specifically breast cancer, goes way down. And for guys, men's testosterone is about 50% what it was 50 years ago. And, they're grasping at straws trying to figure out why that is, but all the toxic crap in food is a pretty good indicator, I would say, along with all these plastics and these toxins we're exposed to every single day. So again, small changes like that. Diet is a huge one. Start cleaning up your diet. Get rid of anything hyper-processed. This channel is obviously about carnivore and eating meat. I'm a 5-year carnivore myself. Me and my dog's been eating carnivore diet for about 5.5 years. It's transformed my health. It's saved my life. I'll probably never go back to eating anything else ever again. But I don't think everybody has to do that to improve their health. It's just a matter of getting away from as much food as possible that comes from the industrial food complex. And that includes anything that's not organic, vegetables, fruits, whole foods, all that. A lot of that stuff is doused in pesticides, herbicides, anti-biologics, which are linked to a lot of these chronic conditions we're dealing with. So get away from that. Buy food from people you can trust. Buy local. Focus on meat. I would have that be the absolute staple of my diet, and I would, if I was going to include other foods, that would be my base, and I would just supplement with other things, fruits and vegetables here and there, if I felt like eating them. But if you're in your 20s and you're watching this, or even younger than that, I would say 20s to 30s, and you're starting to kind of think about retirement and how you're going to get there, and maybe you feel kind of hopeless and stuff. I would say that prioritizing your health now is absolutely fundamental if you want to reach that, because I can tell you from experience, as someone who's been very, very sick, and I've had a lot of medical expenses, being sick is very expensive, and you don't think about it until you're sick and those bills hit, and it costs a lot of money. And the longer you're sick, which usually when you get sick and you get a chronic condition, you're sick for a long time, and these medical interventions and these pharmaceuticals, they just kind of string you along, and they keep you sick, but they don't actually cure the root cause of the problem. So there you are, forking out more money. And a lot of that money, if you've saved up for retirement and you want to get out of working and you want to enjoy your life, your money's going to go to that. And the odds right now are not in our favor. 93.2% of people in the country are metabolically unhealthy. This year is the first year, 2024, that we're going to have over 2 million new diagnoses of cancer. Diabetes, rates of diabetes are at an all-time high. 73-point-something% of the entire population is overweight or obese. The odds are not in our favor. So the chances of you contracting a chronic illness, 10, 20 years before you retire, and then being sick and burning through all that money and not ever being able to get out, and enjoy your life and pursue your dreams and your passions is going to be very high unless you prioritize your health now. Daily movement is going to be very, very essential. You know, a perfect diet is fantastic, and that's probably the best way to get there, one of the fastest way to get there. But if you focus on daily movement and you get outside and you expose your body to the sunlight, get in nature like I'm doing right now with my dog, your health is going to improve by default. I mean, getting away from hyper-processed food, even if you're eating food from the industrial food complex, which I don't recommend because there is a lot of really bad stuff on there. If you make a lot of these small, simple changes, your health is going to improve by default simply by getting away from hyper-processed food. So, again, you know, people say it's difficult and it's hard and all this stuff, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Focus on the basics, move your body, clean up your diet, drink real water, get sunlight on your skin, and that's gonna get you there. That's gonna get 90% of people there. And I know there's an argument that says, well, you know, whole food and these kinds of foods are very, very expensive. But in comparison, like I was just saying, they don't compare at all to the cost of being sick. Because the cost of being sick, the last time I had to go to the hospital, I went to the ER. I had a gallbladder issue, and it cost me, see if I can get over this log. I had to go to the ER twice because they, she can't get up. Come down here. Come down here. I had to go to the ER twice because the first time I went, they dismissed it. I actually did have an issue. Come on up. You got it, come on. Hang on, I gotta help her out. Ugh. Come on. Oh, you got it, almost fell in. All right. You got it. Ooshed. Just like a champ, look at that. Got a log jam here. Come this way. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I got water on this thing. Anyway, so the first time I went to the ER twice. Anyway, long story short, ended up costing me $16,000. So I did have insurance. I had a high deductible plan. Out of pocket, I was out of pocket $8,000 or so, a little over $8,000 for 2 ER visits. And I spent more time in the waiting room than I did in the actual ER, or in the actual, you know, room and stuff, getting treated. So again, medical expenses are very, very expensive. And the United States is one of the only countries where it's that expensive that I've visited anyway. Ireland, healthcare is very cheap. A lot of places it's free. When I got really sick in Korea, where all my medical issues started, I went to the ER, and actually I took an ambulance there. I went to the ER, stayed the night in the hospital, had chest x-rays, EKGs, ultrasound on my heart, IVs, fluids, they drew blood, labs, all that stuff. It's no joke. My total expenses out the door, all that, cost me $350 cash. All right, so here in the United States, medical is very, very expensive. And again, if you want to be able to live your life, if you want to get ahead of this, because it's not looking good for younger generations to be able to get out and do the things that we want to do, start thinking about that now. And I think one of the best ways to do that, you know, you could talk about financial advice and all this stuff and save money and investing. I'm not really getting into that. This is just more about not allowing yourself not to have a monetary suck, a monetary drain when you get to that age. And the biggest monetary drain that you could have is going to be medical. So prioritize yourself now. Do your research, get healthy, and hopefully you can someday save enough money and get out and retire and live your dreams. Get mosquitoes on me. Live your dreams, pursue your passions, and live your best life. Because in the end, that's all we really want. Community, unity, to just be left alone and to live our lives. That's all most of us want. It's very, very simple. So I really hope that someday everybody can get there. My favorite spot, actually, this tree just fell. This is one of my favorite spots because there's a spring that comes out into the creek. So this last storm that we had, I'm in Kentucky, I guess where that hurricane came through. The wind must have got this tree here. Check this out. So the really cool thing, I'm going to go over here and get me some cold exposure here. So where this tree is falling down, this is actually a spring that feeds into the creek. So this area right here, this is a natural spring. In the very back of this, the water comes out of the ground back there, and this is ice freaking cold. So yeah, this tree must have just fell. But yeah, this water, you see how it's crystal clear? It's so cold that when I walk through here, my feet will actually go numb. And this is usually where I come to do like cold plunges. So yeah, right now it is freezing cold. And if you've never done like cold exposure, it can be actually very beneficial, and I do highly recommend it. It's important not to overdo it, because you can overdo it, which is something I've done, especially if you're doing like fasting and working out hard and stuff. It's just kind of too much stress on the body. But it can be very beneficial for a lot of different things, immune function and mental health and all that good stuff. Really helps with anxiety and depression as well. But anyway, I'm going to continue my journey with the dog. I hope you found this useful. Again, this was something that just kind of popped up in my feed, and they were talking about the monetary side of things, but it really made me think about this and what the future might hold for us, and how we can kind of prioritize things to have the best future we can possibly have. You know, nothing's certain. We can't predict the future, but I think the best thing that we can do is just try to set ourselves up to be in the best possible situation that we can. That way, no matter what happens, we're set. We don't have to worry about anything. So if you like this, be sure to like, subscribe, join the Apex tribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace out.